Sometimes the loudest answers are found in the quietest places. Learn about the power of silence. In a fast-moving town called Greybridge, where the streets were always buzzing and the people never paused, lived a young woman named Mira. She was always in a hurry. Every day she wore a Bluetooth headset in one ear and a smartwatch that buzzed every 5 minutes. She worked at a company that prized speed, fast answers, fast meetings, fast success. But even with all her effort, Mira felt like she was falling behind. She answered emails at red lights, listened to productivity podcasts in the shower, and fell asleep with her laptop still open. Every week blurred into the next. Her heart beat fast, but it rarely beat with joy. One Thursday afternoon, something unexpected happened. Mira's phone died. Not just the battery. The whole phone stopped working. Her smartwatch glitched and froze. Even her laptop screen turned black. She rushed to plug them in, restart, update, but nothing helped. After an hour of frantic troubleshooting, Mira sat still for the first time in weeks. No emails, no calls, no alerts, just her breathing. And something strange happened. The silence in the room wasn't empty. It was full of thoughts she hadn't heard in a long time. A memory surfaced, her grandmother's garden, a place she hadn't visited since childhood. She remembered a tall tree in the middle, quiet and wide, with roots that spread deep into the earth. Her grandmother used to say, "That tree has all the answers, Mira. You just have to be quiet long enough to hear them." Something stirred in her chest, a kind of ache she didn't recognize. Without knowing exactly why, Mira packed a small bag and left town. She didn't take a charger. She didn't tell her co-workers. She just left. It was the first decision in years that felt like it came from her. It took her a full day to reach the edge of her grandmother's village. The roads were quieter there. No billboards, no rush. The air smelled like dirt and old rain. She found the house abandoned. Her grandmother had passed 3 years ago, and no one had lived there since. The garden was overgrown, but in the middle of it, the tree still stood, tall, weathered, and unmoved by time. She walked to it and sat beneath its shadow. And then, nothing. No magical insight. No life-changing moment. Just the sound of wind in the leaves. But Mira stayed. The first few hours were hard. Her mind screamed with tasks she hadn't finished, people she hadn't replied to, things she should be doing. Her fingers itched for a screen. But there was nothing to touch but soil. Then something curious began to happen. The longer she sat, the quieter her thoughts became. She began to notice things. The way the sun shifted through the branches. The smell of the tree bark. The rhythm of her own breathing. And slowly, something inside her began to loosen, like a knot untying. On the third day, an old man passed by with a cane. He saw Mira and smiled. "You're listening," he said. She nodded, unsure what he meant. He sat beside her. "You know," he said, "I used to be just like you. Rushed, always talking, always fixing, until my wife died. I didn't know how to grieve, so I walked here one day and sat under this tree, for hours, for days, until I understood something." "What did you understand?" Mira asked quietly. "That grief isn't a problem to solve. It's something you have to carry, gently, and power of silence helps you carry it." He stood and left. Mira didn't stop him. His presence felt like a passing breeze. Brief, but felt. The next day, a young boy appeared, kicking a soccer ball. He stopped and asked if she wanted to play. She shook her head. "Why are you just sitting there?" he asked. "I'm waiting," she said. "For what?" She thought for a long time before answering. "To hear what I haven't been listening to." The boy tilted his head, then smiled. "My grandpa says the power of silence is how the earth talks back." Then he ran off. On the 5th day, something inside Mira shifted. She woke up and sat by the tree as usual. But this time the silence didn't feel like an empty space. It felt like a mirror. She saw herself clearly, maybe for the first time in years. Not the woman who answered every email or crushed every deadline, but the girl who once drew sketches in the margins of her notebooks, who cried at sad songs, who loved long walks with no destination. And something rose in her, not a dramatic revelation, but a quiet truth. She had built a life of noise because she was afraid of what the silence might show her. And now that she had seen it, it wasn't scary at all. It was real. She saw how her constant need to speak, act, and achieve had become a mask. And underneath that mask was someone she missed, herself. When Mira returned to Greybridge a week later, nothing had changed in the city. Cars still honked, screens still glowed, people still rushed. But Mira had changed. She didn't power on her phone immediately. She walked slowly. She watched people. She breathed before she spoke. At work, her boss barked, "You didn't check in?" We were worried. "I needed time," Mira said, "to think. To reset." Her boss blinked. "You could have sent an email." "I didn't want to send more noise." He didn't understand. That was okay. Over the next few weeks, Mira made small changes. She took her lunch outside without her phone. She spoke less in meetings but listened more, and her ideas became stronger. She paused before answering. She chose her words with care. At first, people found it strange. Then, they started doing it too. One day, a coworker asked her, "Why do you seem so calm lately?" She smiled. "I spent time with a tree." They laughed, but Mira didn't need them to understand. She had found something she couldn't explain, only live. Years later, Mira planted a tree in her apartment courtyard. Every morning she sat by it for 10 minutes. No phone, no music, just silence. Children sometimes asked her why. She always said the same thing. Because silence is not empty, it's where the truth speaks. Moral of the story: silence isn't an absence, it's a space where we can listen, reflect, and remember who we are. In a noisy world, silence is not a weakness. It is strength, clarity, and healing. The answers we seek often come, not when we speak louder, but when we finally become still enough to hear. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it makes your life a little better. Please leave a comment. I look forward to hearing from you.